Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So this morning, let's talk about this legendary bull wave for Bitcoin that's incoming. It already happened, but it's going to continue. And I'm going to explain why. And plus, BlackRock's buying spree continues. And a lot of people may have noticed that there's one particular altcoin that is shooting up right now, XRP. Why is that? Well, we'll talk about that today as well. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Bitcoin is looking good at 64.7, a little bit lower than last night when it touched upon $66,000. Okay, we're almost there. That next level, I think, is going to be about 67,000. Not quite there yet, but that's okay because we've been doing this. We've been going up and up and up for a couple days now, and it's looking good. The momentum is back. How sentiment has changed very quickly within just a few days. This is why I remind you guys to never lose focus, never give up, and never fall for the FUD, no matter how much there is, right? So it's looking good. It's looking good. Now, today in the U.S., it's looking like it's a breather day. Yesterday was absolutely phenomenal. Today, starting out in the red, although we could still see the U.S. market flip green. Right? People are still wondering about the very first rate cut. When is that coming? Well, Trump said he would let Powell finish his term if he wins in November. How nice of him. Before, Trump said he would fire Powell, but now he's like, maybe he's doing a good job. Or maybe there's no one else that really wants to tackle the situation. I don't know. Okay, Powell has been doing his best, in my opinion, considering the circumstances. I mean, when you have 35 trillion of debt, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He can't control that. He can't control the endless spending. He can't control when they need to spin up the money printers and print some more, right? He can only do what he can. But anyways, so the very first rate cut probably is going to come in September. There will be a FOMC meeting later this month in a couple weeks. Don't think anything's going to happen. We just don't have enough data to force Powell to cut the rate fast. So we'll have to wait until September, unfortunately. Okay, but you know what? September's not too far off. It's only a month and a half, less than 2 months away. So if we have to wait 2 more months, so be it. How many years have we waited? We waited approximately 4 years. We had 4 years of hikes and then just, elevated rates. Now we're finally getting ready to cut, and it will be spectacular. That is coming in a couple of months. Another big catalyst to look forward to. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. All right, what else is there? Mt. Gox FUD. Okay. This has been addressed for years. There's not much to say about it other than it's finally here. Mt. Gox, in case you're wondering, it's Magic the Gathering. That's what it actually stands for. It's a weird name, right? In case you didn't know, the history behind Mt. Gox was this guy wanted to start a exchange for trading Magic the Gathering cards. And then somehow he learned about Bitcoin and decided, well, okay, that's more profitable. Let's change it to Bitcoin. And actually, I think it was Jem McCaleb. I think it was Jem McCaleb. And he's still in the space now. He's the founder of Stellar and the founder of XRP. And he sold it to Mark Capellas. And then Mark Capellas just didn't know what the hell he was doing, and the exchange got hacked, and this was like 10 years ago. And now they're finally, imagine waiting 10 years. Now they're finally ready to distribute the number of Bitcoin. And this FUD has been ongoing for years upon years upon years upon years. Okay. And finally it's here and everyone's afraid, right? But here's the thing. About 37% of what they're supposed to give out has been given out already. The market did not move at all. At all. Not one bit. We saw Germany have more effect than Mt. Gox so far, and Mt. Gox has way more Bitcoin to distribute. So, all this FUD, I mean, it's not just now. Last few years, we heard a lot about it. In 2021, so much fear about, repayment and stuff. Even during 2017, we had so much fear about repayment. Like, we had so much FUD caused by this one exchange. And it's finally here. We're ready finally to move past this once and for all. And so far, it's a big nothing burger. I kind of predicted that because they're not massively dumping. They're giving it back to people that actually want it and been waiting for it, right? So far, this has been a big nothing burger. And that is absolutely fantastic. So, it's not too long. Not too long until that is over. All right, so want to address that. Of course, I got to address this. BlackRock continues to load up on Bitcoin. This is probably the main reason why we got through Germany and we're getting through Mt. Gox right now, and anything else, minor capitulation and all that stuff, miners were selling. The reason we got through all of it was unfortunately due to BlackRock. Yesterday, they took in $260 million, 8th day of inflow, okay? And in case you're wondering, this is what it looks like. Yesterday, in total, massive, 423 million. And this is significant because if you look at the last 8 days, right? And you look at, when we had those outflow days, you notice those reds. So we already made up for those. And plus, during that time when the funds were selling, you know who didn't sell? BlackRock. So even during the red, negative 200, 220, 190, 146, 152, even during those bad times when some on Wall Street were selling Bitcoin, who didn't sell? BlackRock. Larry Fink knows what's up, and he continues to accumulate. Not only does Wall Street accumulate, he is accumulating. He gave the biggest endorsement a couple days ago, and you could see why he truly believes it. And it just keeps on going and going and going and going and going. So short term, this is positive. This is really positive. This is the reason why we're coming up so much once again. But long term, guys, I say it's unfortunate because short term, yeah, this is going to pump Bitcoin for sure. Long term, oops, where's the chart I was going to show? I forgot the chart. Long term is not going to be good because BlackRock already holds more than 1% of all Bitcoin in existence. They actually hold, I'll just pull it up since I was looking for it. They hold 318,000 Bitcoin. And I don't even know if that's accurate based on yesterday's numbers. Okay, they hold 1.5% of the total supply, the total there ever will be. We're not even up to 21 million Bitcoin yet. So they continue to load up. And it's going to be bad because later on, when the world is ready to fully embrace Bitcoin, that's when it'll be too expensive. And that's when BlackRock may be holding 5%, 10% of the supply. And that's not good. So that's why I've been showing you guys this, why ETF inflows are so important. Because not only do they show that there's massive amount of interest from Wall Street, but also like to give you guys reminders that you don't want to let the big boys take it all. You don't want to let Larry Fink and Fidelity and everyone else, ARK, to take all of your Bitcoin. You got to load up and DCA when you have the opportunity, because these guys now know they came in late. They're playing catch up, right? They know that they're late to the game, but they have enormous amount of money and they could catch up really, really fast. So you got to grab what you can while you still can, while things are still decently cheap. And I know that sounds, kind of crazy. We're at 65,000 and I'm saying it's cheap. Well, it is compared to 100,000 or 150,000 or 250,000, and that's where we may end up in the near future. And I'm talking about like within a year. When I say near future, I'm not talking about 5 years or 10 years down the road. I'm talking about within a year, basically. This is why you need to load up when we have dips. Just like this one. This is kind of ridiculous to think about, but 7 years ago today, someone bought Bitcoin under 2,000 for the final time in history. That was only 7 years ago. Seems like it flew by. You know who bought Bitcoin for less than 2,000? This guy right here. When I got into Bitcoin in 2013, Bitcoin did hit about 1,000. It started coming down in 2014. I didn't understand what it was about, so I sold. But I got back in 2017, early 2017, when Bitcoin was about $1,000. And I remember buying 3 Bitcoin at a time. So I got in below 2,000, right? And unfortunately, we're never going to see those levels again. It's just like when people bought under 10,000 and people bought under 20,000. Will we ever see those levels again? No, right? So again, it's kind of like real estate. When something has a limited supply, when there's just this rush of demand and there's not enough the supply to go around, right? The price goes up, and unfortunately, it never goes back down to previous levels. It just keeps on going up forever. You're never going to buy prime real estate anywhere in Manhattan, for example, or downtown Tokyo, wherever, right? For pennies on a dollar, not like before. Not like when we first started out, right? Maybe 100, 200 years ago. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. But the lifespan of Bitcoin is so much smaller than everything else. But it's the same. It's the same. You guys get my point, right? So in the future, it'll be the same thing. I'll be able to say, hey, you know what? A lot of you guys watching bought Bitcoin under 100,000, and we'll never see that level again, right? It seems silly, but in 10 years, in 20 years, when Bitcoin is at like $5 million, it's not going to be under 60,000 again, right? That's just a reality. All right, so how are we going to get there? The global wealth in 2022, not even 2024, was 455 trillion. Okay, it's probably a lot higher now because of all the printing and stuff, and inflation. If Bitcoin only captures 1%, each one would be worth 200,000, right? I think that is almost guaranteed by next year. Almost. But maybe we fall a little bit short, but I still think we go hit there. But if we get 5%, we just capture 5% of that, Bitcoin is going to be at $1 million. Maybe next cycle. $1 million. All it takes is one Bitcoin to make you a millionaire. Think about that, right? That's why becoming a whole coiner, having one Bitcoin is so important. You just don't know. It's so limited in supply. There's not enough to go around. And, there's no upper limit to how much Bitcoin can appreciate to. All right. Now, moving on, we have this chart right here for those of you guys that like charts. We have bounced off of this important resistance. I don't know what that is. I think that's the 200 DMA. 200, no, this one is the 450 if I'm looking very close. This is the 450 DMA. And you can see this is a pretty bullish sign, right? So short term, we have this bullish momentum back. Where are we going to bounce to? Well, you can see the last 2 times we did this where we breached below and bounced above, we had pretty good returns, right? And this time around, it's going to be no different. Here's another look at that. Okay. And in both cases, these guys are predicting that we're going to 100,000 plus. We just have to break through. We just have to break through our previous high of $73,000. And I do think it's going to happen next week. I even said that last night. And I said it yesterday morning. I think something's being planned right now. I think leading up to Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin is going to pump to a new high. Could be just barely above 73, 74, 75. I think that's in the works. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think something's brewing right now. That's for sure. And long term, this is what it looks like. All right, this is the last thing I'll say about Bitcoin. But if you look at every single cycle, every time Bitcoin broke through this important like B wave or B level, which is the second top, basically, Bitcoin has a hard time staying above. And then afterwards, after some time, it just keeps on going, right? So it's kind of the same thing here. But 2021 was different because our B wave was higher than the A wave, or the A top, or the first top was lower than the second top, which normally doesn't happen. In all the previous cycles, the first top is always higher than the second top. And that's because we had SBF and FTX. They were heavily manipulating the market. And a lot of people think that the only reason we fell to 28,000 before rising it back up, again, was due to FTX. So that's the reason why, right? But you know what? Doesn't matter. That's the past. This is now the present. And our current cycle looks a lot similar to the 2016 cycle than the 2020 cycle. And we are moving exactly the same way. And look at what happened in 2016 and 2017 and that glorious top at the end. I think we're going to see something very, very similar this cycle. All right, now moving on. What else is there? ETH ETFs, right? Been talking about this for a couple weeks now. We will get it next week, next Tuesday approximately, which is only 2 days away from the conference. Again, this is all building up to something massive. People are predicting, they don't know, but 5K for Ethereum, not unreasonable considering it's what, 3,500 now to go up to 5,000? Yeah, probably. It's probably going to go a lot higher than that later this year. So even 3,500, 5,000, can we see 6,000, 7,000 by the end of the year? I think that's possible. I think we could see ETH at 7,000 or maybe even 8,000 by the end of this year. That is certainly possible. The way things are moving right now, very, very possible. And plus, the supply, just like Bitcoin, the supply and exchanges keeps on going down. Down and down and down and down. Actually, ETH levels on exchanges are even lower than Bitcoin if you're looking at like a year perspective. I think last time I saw ETH was down to like 2014 or 2013 levels, which is insane if you think about it. It is really insane. All right, and then there's a couple other things. You got to talk about XRP, right? What's going on with XRP? Well, there's not a whole lot to talk about except that XRP is up 11% today. So XRP does move sometimes out of the blue, but recently it's been moving a lot more, and no one seems to really know why. So this is Alex Cobb is saying there's something going on with XRP that we don't know. It just randomly starts booming, but then, is that really a surprise? Because it does randomly blow up all the time, and then nothing really happens afterwards. But I do think there's something going on with XRP right now. I think there's a lot of bullish sentiment about possibly having an XRP ETF after the Solana ETF, maybe. Also winning its last lawsuit, or Ripple winning its last lawsuit against SEC, because SEC is basically giving up on everything right now. So there's that too. And, you know, you got whales that are just loading up. Loading up. And there's a final reason. I mean, I've been accidentally showing my educational video about XRP a lot. Maybe that's the reason. Psychologically, it's getting in people's psyche. And the more they watch the video, the more they don't know why they have this compulsion to buy XRP. That could be it too. So it's one of the above. That's it. That's it. Well, we're almost back to 65,000. It's looking pretty good. Maybe Wall Street turns. Maybe Dow Jones has turned green. Last few days, Coinbase is turning green. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Nvidia is getting killed today, which sucks because I have Nvidia options. But Coinbase is doing well. MicroStrategy's probably go turn green, which means the markets go turn green, which means that Blackrock is loading up more. I think it's going to be a good day. All right. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll down here. Let's see. First super chat, Robert Knight. What would we do without you, George? You just continue to live on your life. That's what you would do. Just like last night. Oh, good. We're seeing a Bitcoin pump right now. 65.1. I mean, obviously we got to 66,000. Was not able to break it yesterday. If we could break through that, we'll see 67 tonight. Greg says BDC ain't going to 400K, George. You sure about that? No one says it has to go to 400K this cycle. Next cycle, guaranteed. Crypto Moose, thank you for the first part. Second part, do you like Cardano or is it dead price prediction? It's not dead, but it's not my favorite either. Charles will continue to have zealots that follow him forever till the end of time. And because of that, I think Cardano's going to do fine. I think they will break their previous high, but after that, I don't know how much. I don't know how much more. Look at that. We're having a good pump right now. All right, I think I got it. David says XRP, ADA, or a kick in the nuts. We haven't done a poll in a few days. Let's do a poll here. All right, let's see who let's see what people vote on. Lord Smith. Comma is a Solana meme play, NFA. I don't know what that means, but great. Wow, there's more ADA fans in here than XRP fans. That's a little surprising. ADA is pulling away from XRP. Where are all you XRP army guys? 50% of people who have voted would rather get kicked in the nuts daily than go all in on XRP or ADA. ADA is still pulling away. Jada Crypto Man says XRP will melt faces, all these non-believers. There's no perfect crypto. Even though there's a lot of tribalism, you can make money in anything. Well, except XRP. I don't think anyone made any money with XRP. People made a lot of money with ADA. As for XRP, I don't know. Like, there's very little people that can claim they made money from XRP. $700 votes, 45% kicking the nuts daily, all in on ADA 31%, all in on XRP 24%. That's actually surprising. I expect our XRP to be closer to ADA. All right, let's just end that. Kind of surprising. What's not surprising is Bitcoin coming back up, 65.2. That's pretty darn good. Aaron, can we talk about VeChain? What would you like to know? Because I don't know of anything new that has happened. They're still really pushing all the sustainability stuff. Still don't know much. I met their new CMO who didn't really share anything about what's coming. Thoughts on Forgotten Ethereum Classic? Yeah, let's just leave it forgotten. There's no reason to be bullish about Ethereum Classic. It's just a dead chain. Even Charles Hoskinson gave up on it. IOHK was supposed to help them, support them. I have no clue what they're doing. It's best to just forget about them. Still going. All right, for those people that say, well, you don't understand XRP. That looks great, right? That looks really great. until you do this. That was the 2018 high. That was the 2021 high. And where are we now? This is why I say very little people make money with XRP. Because had you bought in 2018, 6 years later, you're still not anywhere close, not even half. That is a 7-year chart on XRP. 7-year chart. So short term, you could have little pumps. Long term, nowhere close to 2018. Like you can't make this up. ADA's chart doesn't look like this. Let's bring up an ADA chart. You know what? Let's put it side by side, right? Let's do XRP versus ADA. All the way back. I don't know when ADA was. Where's the oldest? Probably Binance. ADA. Look at that. Okay, let's go into weekly. This is weekly. The difference between the two is this was 2021 for ADA. This was 2018. You see how in 2018, 2021, right? So that's not the case. Oops, this changed. Oh, no, this is right. But for XRP, you notice how there's a difference there, right? XRP 2018 here, 2021 here, went downwards. But ADA 2018 here, 2021 up there. That's the difference. So people made a lot of money on ADA by holding long term. But unfortunately, ADA is down here now, right? Still a long way to go. But so is XRP, still a long way to go. But, you know, you can make an argument. ADA made a lot more money for people, long-term holders, than XRP did. You can't dispute that. Someone said they both look like garbage. Well, it is what it is. I hope it's different for XRP, but I don't know if it's going to be different. Ripple's already announcing plans to IPO. They're coming out their stablecoin. There's a lot of things that are going against XRP at this point. George, don't you always say think long term but not short term? Yeah, but at some point you just realize that you have to switch to something else. Think about all the potential loss by holding XRP the last 7 years versus had you just bought anything else. Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything that existed, even Cardano, even Doge. You would be up thousands of percent versus holding something that continues to fall. Scott Martin, congrats. Recently became a whole coiner, 1.3 Bitcoin portfolio, 60% Bitcoin, 20% ETH, hopefully not Ethereum Classic, 15% sold, 10% ADA. And the rest all theirs. DCA in the past few years since the last top, continue to. Thanks, George. Congrats. Holding one Bitcoin or you have more than one Bitcoin, but holding one Bitcoin, becoming a whole coiner is very, very hard. Very, very hard. And one Bitcoin in the future could be worth $1 million plus. Not could, will be worth $1 million plus. Pepe on base is my meme of choice. Good for you. What's Pepe today? I don't know why that did that. Pepe's at 5 billion again. It's been climbing up this past week, so that's good. 5 billion. Let's bonk. Bonk is at 2, much smaller. Pepe, man, took a huge leap. What's whiff? Whiff is at 2.2. A whiff is still higher than bonk, huh? That's surprising. What is something like Brett? Brett is at 1.3, so Brett is still quite high. Yeah, Pepe's going to end up being the Doge of this cycle, and either whiff or bonk will be the sheep of this cycle, but I don't know which one. They're kind of neck and neck. Charles says, do you believe we'll have one last pullback to 60K before takeoff? Thanks. I don't believe any of that. I never believed any of that. I don't believe ever that we need to have a pullback to a certain level before going up. No. Lars says, George, do you consider a whole coin or someone with a portfolio equivalent to 1 Bitcoin yet? Yes, but you got to be very careful about that, because if you're holding 1 Bitcoin worth of alts, that could drop below 1 Bitcoin very easily, which we have seen in the last 3 months. Alts have been decimated versus Bitcoin. So sometimes it's better to just hold Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin forever. It doesn't matter about the dollar value. It's still 1 Bitcoin. But when you hold 1 Bitcoin worth of alts, that could change to 0.1 Bitcoin in very short order. It could drop way below. Of course, the potential to go above 1 Bitcoin is there. But during FUD-ish times, man, you wish you had nothing but Bitcoin only. Keep an eye out for memes like TCAT on ton. I've covered TCAT before. They don't seem to be doing much, but it makes it doesn't show up here. It makes sense though, because Telegram is getting so big now. You got to figure the memes are going to start getting popular. Man, it's down 48% today. Wow, someone just dumped the hell out of it. Yeah, something's going on there. Not natural for something to dump 48% in a bull market. So people are definitely dumping it for some reason. Maybe the team is. I don't know. Yeah, you definitely don't want to get into that right now. Crypto trees, you're welcome. There's a market. Today, NASDAQ is taking a beating for really no reason. NASDAQ down 438 points. No reason for that. Nvidia is getting slaughtered today. Yeah, I'm gonna be picking up more Nvidia when it bottoms out. Coinbase, MicroStrategy, they were in the green. Now slightly red. Wow, Coinbase is worth $61 billion. I didn't know how big their market cap was. MicroStrategy's worth $29 billion, about half of Coinbase. Coinbase should be worth more than that. Coinbase should be like $100 billion, easy. Victor, appreciate it. Did you see Filecoin started in cooperation with NVIDIA? Filecoin going AI. It's a little too late for that. Everyone is moving to AI. I don't know what took them so long to do anything. Filecoin, they said we're gonna go with a L2. They're gonna become a full-fledged L2, and then I don't know what happened with that decision. BDC is doing weird things. Who keeps selling at 65? It's not doing weird things. It only seems that way because you guys are glued to it, right? You don't have to glue to Bitcoin's price every second. Let it do its thing. And then you'll realize that in no time, we're back to 73,000 again. Yeah, Michael, I wouldn't compare CRO to Coinbase. They're vastly different. What do you think about Aptos? Not my cup of tea. I don't hear anything going on in Aptos. They were developed, Aptos and Sui, they're like ex-Facebook guys that was working on their crypto project, and they left and started their own. They got a ton of funding, that's for sure. Both of them did. But I don't hear a lot about activity and dApps. I'm sure they have some, but Aptos I really don't hear about. Where's Aptos right now? Uh, 7% day, 3.5 billion. They're still quite big. They debuted in 2022. And they're pretty much sideways since their debut. Jason says my favorite stable coins: CRO, Stellar, USDT, and of course ADA. Serge says, can you show the educational video so XRP could continue pumping? Maybe. I can't show it much. It's too addicting. I need to do another poll. I don't know what poll. What's a good poll? What's a good food question to ask? Pizza dominates everything. I don't know. I can't say. I guess what? Fruit or veggies? I think I know the answer to that already. That's not... Do restaurants. I think this is pretty easy. Here's a good one. Bust. I think it's pretty... I think I know the answer to this, but we'll see. I can only put 3 options down, so can't put all the other ones in there. Suwandi asks, hey bro, what's your plan if Bitcoin reaches 100K or later? I don't know. Not much. Continue to do what I'm doing still. Maybe throw a 100K party. I said that. I don't know who's going to be invited, but yeah, I'll probably do that. Throw a 100K party in Miami. That'll be fun. And that, you know, the thing is, the reality is that could come like right around September, October. It's not like it's years out. You know, we joked about Bitcoin hitting 6 figures, you know, years back during crypto winter. Like, oh yeah, you know, what we're going to do when Bitcoin hits 100K. But, you know, the reality is we could hit it in just a few months. In September, October, November, we could be at 100K Bitcoin. It'll come sooner than people expect. Chris Tex, hello. Yeah, kind of what I expected. Wendy's is leading the way. McDonald's number 2, Burger King. No one wants Burger King. Yeah, Burger King is... I used to like Burger King, but now I can't go to Burger King anymore. Everything about Burger King just sucks. Whopper, I used to love Whoppers, but no more. Wendy's, every Wendy's, a Dave's Double or Dave's Triple, whatever, they're way better than Whoppers now. Chick-fil-A is good. Chick-fil-A is really good. All right, guys. Got some good polls today. You know, Bitcoin's right around 65,000 once again. That wave is already here. Don't be discouraged. Don't be distracted by the FUD or small price dips or volatility. Okay? We are on our way up. We have the momentum. The Blackrock continues to buy. XRP continues to do not a whole lot. Well, I'll say something good. XRP is doing well today and could be doing better later this week. All right, guys, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Last question, Retro Bill. After the cycle, will you roll your window down in Ferrari so I could ask you, pardon me, do you have any gray poupon? That's not. You got to be a Rolls Royce for that, my man. All right, have a good one. And since XRP is having a good day, I have to show this video.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.